You are the person companies call when they need the uncomfortable answer. Not the answer that goes in the annual report, formatted for the board and stripped of anything that might generate the wrong kind of attention in the wrong meeting room. The actual answer. The one that tells them, with precision and without courtesy, exactly how long it would take a competent professional to dismantle their security, walk through it, and emerge from the other side holding everything they were paid to protect. You are a red team auditor. Your formal billing title is Security Penetration Consultant. What that means in practice is this: you commit controlled crimes on behalf of institutions that retain you, so they can measure their exact exposure before someone with less patience and no signed engagement letter does it for free. 12 years, 41 engagements across 9 countries. You bypassed a biometric entry system in Zurich by exploiting a vendor maintenance window the facility manager did not know existed. You walked an active motion sensor corridor in Singapore with $11 of preparation and came out clean. Once, the story you never tell at professional functions because it tends to change the atmosphere, you removed a prototype processor from a defense contractor's R&D facility in Brussels, placed a yellow adhesive note on the empty housing that read, "You owe me a consulting fee," and was back in your hotel room before the shift changeover. 41 engagements. Not 1 gram of anything that wasn't contractually yours has ever left a facility in your hands without being returned to the client before the debrief concluded. That record is not a credential. That record is the product. It is the only thing that justifies the rate you charge, and it is what every consortium, every insurer, every institutional security director is actually acquiring when they wire you a retainer. That unblemished professional history is, right now, the most dangerous thing in the room. Because you are standing inside Vault B of the Antwerp Diamond Centre on a Tuesday morning in February, and the vault is empty. Not the kind of empty that follows a scheduled inventory transfer, not the procedural empty of a custody changeover between registered dealers. Every drawer, every numbered sleeve, every velvet tray assigned to the 17 trading firms whose policies cover the contents of this facility, gone. Based on the oxidation pattern on the stainless shelf brackets, where the humidity seals have slowly cracked without the insulating weight of inventory pressing against them, and based on the faint rectangular outlines pressed into the velvet liner where certified parcel envelopes rested for years and then stopped resting, you are looking at an absence that is approximately 3 months old. Someone has already done what you were hired to simulate. By the end of this, you will understand exactly how they did it. You will understand why the vault's 4 independent countermeasures, magnetic intrusion detection, seismic monitoring, infrared heat mapping, and a combination lock with 100 million possible sequences were operationally decorative on the night it happened. You will understand the Antwerp Logic, the foundational principle that the most expensive security architecture in the world becomes theater the moment one specific, unhurried human strategy is applied to it with enough commitment. But first, you have 18 minutes before the overnight guard rotation arrives at this level, and you need to make a decision that your contract does not cover and your professional indemnity insurance has never once modeled. Your contract covers this. 6 weeks ago, a private insurance consortium holding coverage on approximately 40% of the registered inventory in this vault retained you for a standard red team engagement. Simulate unauthorized access, document methodology, submit findings under attorney-client privilege, accept your fee, walk. The authorization letter in your inside jacket pocket has been reviewed by 2 separate law firms. It is signed. It names this facility, this access window, and your name explicitly. In 3 languages, it states you're permitted to be here. You checked before you accepted the engagement because you always check, because checking is the minimum operating standard of a professional who bills your rate. What the authorization does not explain is why a functioning insurance consortium would commission a red team simulation of a vault that was emptied 3 months before the simulation was contracted. What it does not explain is why your point of contact, a man who introduced himself as a senior claims coordinator, who met you in the lobby bar of a business hotel in Brussels and shook your hand with the specific, calibrated pressure of someone who has practiced handshakes, has not returned a call, a message, or an email in 4 days. What it does not explain is why on Sunday evening, when you cross-reference the consortium's Belgian regulatory registration as a routine professional matter, the registry returned a status flag. Entity under regulatory review initiated 14 months ago. 14 months ago, 3 months before the vault was emptied, 11 months before someone retained you to walk into it with documentation explaining how it could be done. You sit on the vault floor, cold concrete, immediate and specific through your trousers, and you think about the Antwerp Logic, because the Antwerp Logic is exactly what produced the situation you are now sitting in the center of. You know the story. Every professional in your field knows it the way structural engineers carry specific collapse events as load-bearing knowledge rather than historical trivia. In 2003, a man named Leonardo Notarbartolo rented a small office in this building. Not this corridor, this building. He registered as an Italian diamond merchant, which he was, in the same way that a grandmaster is technically a person who moves carved pieces across a checkered surface. He paid his rent on schedule. He attended the informal Friday gatherings that the building's legitimate tenants organized in the lobby atrium. He noted the desk officer's new watch and commented on it with the specific specificity that tells another person you actually looked. He remembered when the floor manager's wife delivered a child and brought a small, appropriate gift. He was present in the way that office plants are present, registered only in their absence, never scrutinized in their being there. That investment required 3 years. After 3 years, Notarbartolo was not a visitor inside this building. He was furniture, the background radiation of the place. And furniture does not activate the ambient threat assessment system that every human nervous system runs on continuous, passive intake. The vault had sensors, systems that the manufacturer marketed as the most comprehensive private vault protection in the European diamond trade. Magnetic intrusion detection on the doorframe, seismic monitors embedded in the walls, infrared heat signature mapping across the interior access points, a combination lock with 100 million possible sequences, described in insurance documentation at the time as effectively unresolvable without direct knowledge of the setting. Every one of those systems was correctly installed and accurately calibrated. Every one of them was operationally irrelevant on the weekend of the heist, because the people who moved through this building that weekend were not flagged by the system that actually governs access in any environment populated by human beings. The instinctive, experience-weighted judgment about whether a face belongs here. The infrared sensor was defeated with a can of aerosol adhesive taped over the housing, $11, sourced from a hardware shop 6 streets away. The magnetic door alarm was bypassed with a tool available from any locksmith supply catalog. The combination was not cracked, it was observed and memorized over 18 months of proximity, through the specific kind of patience that does not read as patience to the person practicing it, because they are simply each time having a conversation and being part of the place. The entire technical security architecture of what was considered the most protected private vault in Western Europe was made irrelevant by a single compounding variable that no firmware update has ever addressed: the yield on human trust. That is the Antwerp Logic, not a technique, an investment thesis. The thesis states that human confidence accumulated over a long enough timeline through credible and consistent proximity outperforms every engineered countermeasure in existence. Every sensor has a manufacturer. Every manufacturer has a specification sheet. Every specification sheet has a failure threshold below which the system stops working. Trust has no specification sheet. It has no rated operating temperature. It cannot be patched against a new attack pattern because the attack pattern itself is the relationship, and once a relationship has been established inside an institution's cognitive architecture, it does not register as threat, it registers as belonging. 12 minutes. Here is the full position. Someone retained you, a professional with a verifiable, publicly registered record of authorized access to sensitive facilities, to enter this vault with a signed letter during a specified window, carrying a methodology report written in your own professional language, explaining how this facility could be accessed without authorization. The entity that issued the authorization is under regulatory review. Your contact is unreachable. The vault was emptied 3 months before your engagement was structured. The report on your person documents the access vulnerability. Your name is on the authorization. Your entry was logged at the desk. You are the person standing inside an empty vault, holding a document that explains how a person gets inside an empty vault. You are not the investigator. You are not the perpetrator. You are the Antwerp Logic applied to a new surface. The trusted face positioned inside the room after the room has already been cleared. Someone audited your professional history, available through the industry certification bodies you were listed with, identified that your authorization letters consistently hold legal scrutiny, and structured an engagement around the one deliverable you reliably produce: documented, credible, professionally formatted evidence of access on a timeline they controlled inside a facility they had already cleared 3 months prior. You were the furniture. You just didn't know the room had already been emptied before you were installed. 8 minutes. 2 exits. The service corridor connects to a freight elevator and exits onto a side street with no camera coverage between 3 and 4 a.m. You noted that during pre-survey because you were thorough, which is why you were selected. The main corridor passes the security desk staffed in 8 minutes, which already has your entry timestamped as authorized in the log. If you leave through the service route, your entry is documented, but your exit is not, and that gap looks, to an investigator reviewing footage, like deliberate concealment. If you leave through the main corridor, you are visible, consistent, and presenting exactly as a professional who entered with permission and has nothing to conceal would present. You take the report from your bag. 30 seconds. It documents access vulnerabilities in your own precise language. It does not document the 3-month-old absence you are standing inside. It does not implicate you in the removal of inventory because you had no access to the inventory. What it does, in the wrong courtroom with the wrong framing, is demonstrate in your own handwriting that you understand exactly how to access this facility. You fold it. You put it back. You put the authorization letter next to it. 4 minutes. You walk out through the main corridor. You show the guard the authorization and use the vocal register you have used 41 times before. Not warm, not cold. The flat professional frequency of someone concluding a professional visit. You tell him your preliminary assessment is complete, and the formal report will follow within 10 business days. You give him your name. You wait while he writes it. You leave at the pace of someone with nothing to conceal, which is the only pace available to you. Parked 2 blocks away, engine running, you call your attorney, then the Federal Police Financial Crimes Desk, then a journalist who has spent 9 years covering structural irregularities in the Antwerp gem market, and who understands the moment you describe a 3-month-old empty vault held by a consortium under regulatory review, exactly what that means inside at least 4 open investigations she is already tracking. You are not charged. The authorization holds legal scrutiny. 14 months later, the regulatory review closes. Your file is cleared. The consortium's principles surface in proceedings you are not a party to. You walk. But you never take another institutional engagement. Not because your record was damaged, it was not. Because your record was the mechanism. Your credibility, your documentation, your professional trustworthiness, these were never the defense, they were the instrument someone else leveraged. You were selected because you were trusted, because you were, within the security industry's institutional architecture, furniture. And once you understand that trust is the attack surface, not the thing being defended, not the countermeasure, but the vector itself, you cannot stop running the audit on every room you enter, every referral through a trusted channel, every handshake calibrated to the pressure of someone who practiced it. The Antwerp Logic does not require you to invest 3 years. It only requires that someone else already did. That somewhere upstream, a patient professional spent 3 years becoming part of the way a place works, until the sensors were decorative and the lock combinations were administrative detail, and the only remaining question was which trusted face to position inside the aftermath when they needed it documented. The recovered inventory from the 2003 heist accounts for a fraction of what disappeared. Notarbartolo served time, but maintained until the end that the entire structure had been commissioned by a diamond dealer inside the building, someone who needed their own inventory to vanish for insurance purposes. The heist, in other words, may have been contracted by the person the vault was constructed to protect. The sensors were never the problem was the man who paid for them. You carry that as a permanent line item in your internal risk model now. Exposure, trust. Value, unrateable. Hedge, unavailable. The professional record that was your entire product is also the most precise instrument anyone has ever used to position you exactly where they needed you to be. You were not the expert who found the hole. You were the hole. And the people who needed one knew exactly where to look.